I absolutely agree. The phrase spatial thinking has been receiving increasing attention over these past 15 years or so, encouraged in part by the NRC report that we've both been referring to, and also, to your point earlier, from STEM, increasing amount of emphasis on STEM education at the primary and secondary level. However, in many ways, we in the GIS education community have been immersed in promoting and supporting spatial thinking in education for far longer than any initiatives or reports have come out. Indeed, for decades. Beginning in the early 1990s, for example, a handful of innovative primary and secondary teachers, along with a few interested faculty and universities, nonprofit organizations, and government agencies, working closely with those in primary and secondary education, as well as us on the Esri education team, which began in 1992, we had a special focus to bring spatial thinking through the use of GIS tools to these schools, primary and secondary. At the university level, spatial thinking has long been nurtured by research and practice from the fields of geography, as we're talking about, science education, cognitive psychology, human-computer interaction, and others, though I would argue that there's a need for spatial thinking, as you were talking about as well, to spread beyond geo-enviro GIS programs to courses and programs in, and I remember we talked about this when I met you at the University of North Florida, in business, engineering, data science, history, sociology, and elsewhere in higher education as well. In other words, you touched on this a bit when you talked about Harvard, et cetera. Yirgalem, I'm more concerned that spatial thinking is taught in rigorous ways and often in many courses. I'm more concerned about that than the rise and fall and ebb and flow of the health of geography departments. I know other scholars would disagree, saying, I'm going to stake I'm put my stake in the ground on making sure geography is strong. And we're geographers. I'm not going to say that I don't want all geography programs to be healthy, but I'm actually even more concerned that we in the geography community, infuse and help infuse spatial thinking throughout the educational curriculum.
Yes, I think that's the most important part of this discussion, because the major concern is we are very much focused on teaching the technology, but we neglect how it is important, the importance, because we have a very powerful tools in our hands that promotes spatial thinking. However, most of the time we spend our time teaching the skill instead of, telling, the world how it is important and how it is something which is connected to everybody's daily life, whether you are, professional or non-professional, whoever you are, you are going to pass through, school system. Unless otherwise you got those skills, you're going to miss a lot of things. That is why we need also to work a little bit how it is important, not only just teaching the skill only, as you said, we are very much, overtaken, on that dimension. And there's a lot of good things happen in that area, but still geography is, underutilized, especially in other field of study. So, as I've said, our target, even though our main target should be, K to 12, because if we have, those students at early stage, will have many students joining college with a good spatial literacy. And it's not only that, they don't need to be geographers, but we'll have a lot of students who can easily use their skill to solve spatial problems in any field. My son Samuel taught me a very important lesson in spatial thinking, how spatial thinking is really important even for children at the earliest stage. When he was 6 months old, for the first time, we were so happy when he was able to climb the sofa. That was his first skill in his milestone development. He was able to climb only from one corner of the sofa. So he tried from many spots, but he couldn't make it. The only spot he is able to do is from one corner. So to encourage him, I just put his favorite toy on the sofa. So he just keep climbing to get that toy. But most of the time I put toy exactly at the spot where he is able to climb. One day I just put it on the other corner of the sofa, and he saw his toys, and then he was very eager to get that toy, and he tried to climb the sofa, not from the spot he normally able to climb. Rather, he tried to climb from the location where the toy is located. So he tried, he failed. He tried so many times, he couldn't do it. So what happened was, well, my expectation was, okay, he's going to his spot where he is able to climb, and then he can crawl to the location of the spot. Actually, that didn't happen. What happened was Samuel gave up and just walked away. So I was so surprised. So then what I was learning is that Samuel understands location. So, and his understanding of space, spatial thinking, is that he will have access to his toy if he is able to climb exactly from the spot where the toy is located. And he has no idea he would be able to crawl a little bit from the spot he is able to climb and get his toys. So I think it took like 1 month, and then suddenly one day he climbed from the spot he was able to climb, and then crawled towards his toy, and he was able to get it. I was so surprised, and I really learned an important lesson, how even a 6-month-old kid, infant, can use spatial skill to solve, that little problem. So his understanding is the first, understanding of spatial thinking is location. So he's able to locate what he wants, and he's also able to know at that stage, okay, if I can climb this sofa from this location, I'll be able to get it. If I am able to climb from another direction, I will not have. So the concept of distance yet not developed. The concept of path is not developed yet. So you can imagine, at this stage, spatial thinking is so important. And that's why I just made my focus, spatial thinking has to start from K to 12 curriculum. There it has to be. So by doing that, now people will have spatial skill. They can apply it in their daily activity. They will be inspired by spatial thinking. And also they will apply, this spatial thinking to learn other skill and to acquire other knowledge, as I've said, science, technology, engineering, and math. So if we are able to equip them with the basic spatial skill and the spatial thinking at the lower stage, then they will be confident in spatial thinking, and also they will actually understand the importance of spatial skill. And when they come to college, I'm sure you're not just worried about spatial literacy and start a kind of a crash course for every geography course that you teach for students coming from other majoring area.
Indeed, and I like the way that you're using your son as a case study. Clever. He's destined to be a strong spatial thinker. But yes, you're touching on a key need in primary and secondary education with implications to higher education. If the goal that you and I have, and some of our colleagues as well, to see spatial thinking through, for example, the application of geotechnologies and in other ways, but through geotechnologies is a very powerful way to teach spatial thinking. GIS, remote sensing, GPS, web mapping, etc. embedded throughout the educational curriculum from young ages and in multiple disciplines, history, economics, math, etc. Just imagine the incoming spatial thinking and geotechnology skills that incoming undergrads at any university could have in the future. What are a few of the implications?
I think one of the implications is that I would expect better student achievement in learning science, maths, and engineering. That's one of the implication. And as a second implication is that our students will join college and universities with high level of spatial literacy. This will create a fertile ground for what you have suggested actually in the above in your discussion. Expanding spatial thinking to courses and programs in business, engineering, data science, history, sociology, and in any other department. So if you have this background, people will be inspired about spatial thinking, and they will know its application in a broader areas of discipline, not only just limited in geography or in spatial science. So I think what you just suggested above needs a background work at lower, or during the pre-college education. I think that's one of the some of the implication I would expect. If we have achieved and able to bring spatial thinking in our K-12 curriculum.
Right. These students incoming in our colleges and universities will be accustomed to asking, what's where, why is it there, and why should we care? What's where, why is it there, and why should we care? They will be familiar with spatial analytical tools and using maps, not just as reference documents like most people think of maps, right? Where is University of North Florida? Where is Colorado? Where is Turkmenistan, etc. But as research tools, as analytical tools, maps as research and analytical tools, why something is where it is and the spatial patterns those variables exhibit. They will be comfortable asking thoughtful questions and solving problems, right? Equipped with geotechnologies, statistics, and other tools. They will be empowered to be a positive change agent, no matter what discipline they work in and no matter what sector of society, nonprofit, academia, government agencies, or private industry in which they work.
Yeah, that's true, Joseph. One of the things that we should do, we need to change the traditional approach to spatial thinking, teaching, because I feel that spatial, literacy or spatial thinking is very much scattered, and it became a kind of, it has no core at all when it is expected to have a core. If we are able to create a strong and very relevant and practice-oriented curriculum at lower grade level, then one of the area that we need to work on. So that means making the subject more relevant and also more applicable to daily life. If you think of any kind of, most of safety issues or survival skills, they are very much related to space and space and the time. We could just think of pulling all those areas of need and come up with a very practical and technology-oriented course at K-12 curriculum, then it becomes more relevant, and also students will be also more inspired by spatial thinking and its application area. So I think that's the main focus area where we need to look at our curriculum of spatial science in K-12 education.